Welcome back to AM Northwest. Okay, you've tried eating only vegetables. You've gone paleo. You've dropped gluten, dairy, and all things fun. But our next guest says to stop all that. Instead, it's time to change your relationship with food without following a restrictive fad diet. Here to share her simple 6-rule method, we welcome the author of This Is What You're Really Hungry For, dietitian Kim Shapira. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Helen. Good morning.
Good morning. I love that you boil it down to 6 simple rules. So let's get right to those rules. Let's start with eat when you're hungry.
Yeah. Well, I think before we even do the rules, first we have to know where our mind is. So I always ask people to kind of pay attention to, are you where your body is? And so many of us, get hijacked very quickly. And so one simple thing I always ask before you even start looking at the rules is to ask yourself what time zone your mind is in. And if it's in the same one as your body, then you can actually scan your body and see if you're hungry. So many people are focused, like you said, on what to eat rather than why they're eating. And before they can do anything, they need to make sure they're hungry in their stomach, not their mind.
Oh, of course, because I think like late at night, people eat because they're bored or they're used to eating a show, watching a show and eating popcorn or whatever it may be for no reason.
Completely.
Yeah, that makes sense. So only when you're hungry.
Exactly. Only when you're hungry, but take your normal portion, cut it in half, wait 15 minutes to see if you need more food. And that 15 minutes gives you a fail-safe to make sure that you don't overeat or undereat. It's really important to let leptin and your mind and stomach connect to let you know if you need more food. It's really important.
What got you into thinking about food in this way? Did something change for you?
Yeah, well, somebody told me when I was very young that food could make you sick or healthy, and I was a sick kid. So I was striving to be healthy. And so I decided I'm picking a career and I'm going to make everyone healthy and myself. And then what happened is early on in my practice, I put a client on a diet. She lost 30 pounds and I was like, I'm winning all over the place. We were changing her metabolic dysregulation, her cholesterol levels. And then what happened is she told me she was going to gain the weight back because she wasn't comfortable in her lean body. And I realized this is not about the food. This is about the relationship people have with food. And they have to feel safe in order to move forward.
She wasn't comfortable in her lean body.
Yeah, she was getting too much attention in ways that were making her uncomfortable, and she had trauma in her past.
Wow, okay, that makes sense. You also say to eat what you love.
Eat what you love, because we come from a place of we should eat it, it's healthy, it's good for you, it's bad for you. And we really, in order for us to move forward, to concentrate what's going on in our personal bodies, no one else's, we have to know how the food makes us feel. And so we think we love food, but we also complain about having stomach aches and bloating and diarrhea and disease, mood disorders, and it's linked to the way that our body's feeling. And so we have to first really eat when you're hungry, the foods that you love. Only start with as much as you need, which is half in the beginning, and wait 15 minutes. And then we have to see, how does the food make you feel? The food that you love could be making you sick. And that's like staying in a toxic relationship. You're allowing this to continue.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to get to this one rule that I think is very important. It's about getting enough sleep.
Yeah, sleep is very underrated. The average American is getting 6.5 hours of sleep. And we have 2 aisles in the pharmacy on sleep aids.
Yeah.
We have problems falling asleep, staying asleep, and waking up rested. And the truth is that when we have young kids, our doctor or pediatrician says, if your child is yawning or giving signs that they're tired, let them go to sleep. Put them to bed. You don't want to miss that window. And yet we push ourselves past our window. And this kind of hijacks our brain and it wakes us up.
Yeah.
It does the opposite of what we needed to do. And we're dealing with our circadian rhythms, our melatonin release and our cortisol release. We need both of these hormones to do totally different things. But melatonin is, again, the most underrated hormone. It's an antioxidant that while you're actually sleeping, it goes into your 100 trillion cells and it detoxes, it cools your entire system. Without that melatonin doing its job, you wake up inflamed. And when we're inflamed, we're less motivated to make great choices. Not only that, if you're not sleeping, your cortisol levels are high, which is burning out your adrenal glands. It's tipping off your sex hormones, your insulin changes, and we're gaining weight. And our body is going to be in chronic stress. And this is the link to, disease. And so we have to work on our sleep, make sure that we're getting consistent sleep, going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time, so we can heal our body from inside.
You
So much.
you talk too about eating without distractions, which is really tough for me.
Yeah, well, there's emotional distractions, there's physical cravings. Sometimes we eat just because the food is in front of us. And
Yeah.
it's really important to go back to rule number one and say, am I eating because I'm hungry? And this opportunity to know where your mind is and to make sure that it's in your body and that you're getting signals from your stomach that you're hungry, not just the thought that food is a good idea, is very important to cut down on emotional eating. And once you can say, oh, I'm thinking about food because I'm actually stressed or bored or tired, then what actually happens is this gives you an opportunity to accept that you're bored, tired, and stressed, and then heal that part or deal with it. But we go through new emotions like every 15 minutes. So really knowing why we're hungry is the key to everything.
Running out of time, but I did want to touch on, you also say take 10,000 steps a day
Yeah.
and drink 8 cups of water at least a day.
Yeah, so the water, again, we're 50 to 70% water. We need it to help us detox, cleanse all of our cells, and keep us hydrated, which helps us feel motivated and make us feel good. And the 10,000 steps, this is not negotiable. The average American gets about 3,000 steps.
Yeah.
We need to just work on progress, not perfection. We're going to get there eventually, but we have to fall in love with moving our body. It helps everything, and it lowers our risk of sudden death, Alzheimer's, every disease. It helps digestion, sleep. So many
There's
things.
so much more we need to talk about. We'll have you back on again. The book again is titled,
Yeah.
This is What You're Really Hungry For. Kim Shapira, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.